The Senate has reached a deal to vote on a $1.7 trillion government funding bill that includes $45 billion for Ukraine. ABC's Catherine Faulders joins me live now, along with our White House correspondent Karen Travers for more. So, Catherine, I'll start with you. President Zelenskyy made an emotional and personal appeal for that aid. How much of an impact do you think that had on lawmakers?
Well, look, in the Senate, Zelensky's speech really just reiterated that need for aid to Ukraine. In fact, this hit a snag last night in the Senate, so it obviously had to wait until today. But look, now that the Senate will vote on this and pass this, it will come over here to the House. Now, in terms of Zelensky's speech in the House, McCarthy, the leader of the Republican Party, repeated his blank checks line. You heard Republicans like Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert say that they weren't going to vote for this. The Republican caucus is already whipping against this, but it is expected to pass once the Senate, of course, sends it over to this side, to the House side, in the next few hours.
And Karen, you talk with radio hosts across America every day. How are people reacting to Zelensky's visit and his appeal for more aid?
Alexis, one of the biggest things that I think people were struck by last night watching that speech from President Zelenskyy was the bipartisan reaction. The fact that you had Democrats and Republicans on their feet, 18 standing ovations for the Ukrainian president. And there was an agreement that, at least from watching that speech, that America in that room was united behind the cause of the Ukrainians. And I think there was also a recognition that President Zelenskyy was here to thank the American people, to thank the American Congress and President Biden, but also here to say that this economic assistance needs to continue. Now, last night, of course, there was applause. There might have been agreement, but the fights over funding are still to come. As Catherine's talking about, $45 billion in aid is likely now to be approved. So that fight will be punted for some time, but that doesn't mean that that fight is now put off forever. It is likely to come at some point in the new year.
And Catherine, we know there were some sticking points here in negotiations. What do we know about how this deal was reached?
Yeah, so last night there was a bit of a roadblock when Senator Mike Lee proposed this amendment to reinstating Title 42. It had to do with the vote threshold, so technically it would have passed in the Senate, but it wouldn't have passed in the House. So they created this workaround of sorts where they will have separate votes on Title 42 that are expected to fail in the Senate. That enabled this bill, of course, to come over to this side today.
And Karen, I just want to switch gears for a moment and ask what you're hearing across America when it comes to that immigration policy, Title 42.
You know, I thought it was really interesting this week as this headline became so big because of the Wednesday expiration date, of course, before it was put on pause with the court cases, how it certainly seemed like for a lot of people in this country, it was not on the front burner. It was not something they were following or even understood very well, Alexis. I got a lot of questions about why this was happening, why the administration was lifting this, and what exactly Title IV was doing. And I think the fact of what the administration had as a plan going forward for the border broadly was the big thing.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.